On Monday night, a good portion of my live stream and conversation with Nash, that is Tesla and the Gong, was like this. Bad, right? Absolutely. And I was so embarrassed and upset that I took down the video and I, pondered what to do about it. So first up, a big sorry and also a big thank you to Nash for inadvertently being a host on my show, like on my channel. The technical issues were not on my end and I thought all was well, kind of. Then the comments started coming in, but my view looked like this. Then, I knew something wasn't right, so I tried to turn the camera off and on again, disconnecting things, searching for help, and in the end it came out good. I finally was on after about 40 minutes and my little victory dance, which is no doubt a meme somewhere. I was really angry that EVMux, that's the software that I use and who I paid good money to host this, let's just put it this way, they're no longer, I'm no longer paying them money. They're gone. Anyway, moving on. This issue of Tesla withdrawing right-hand drive Tesla Model S and X needs to be explored, unpacked, and the ramifications discussed. Today, I'm going to add some context around what Nash was talking to, because for those who are watching, you probably had no idea what I was asking with him and all that sort of stuff. So, by the way, if you think this isn't an issue and we should all just get over it, I hope this video will actually help you understand the bigger, broader issues here and why it's super critical for Tesla to support right-hand drive markers in full, especially if they're to succeed in their mission. A quick reminder. Friday last week, Tesla sent out this email to the deposit holders of Tesla Model S and X, where it said that recent changes to the vehicle program, Model S and Model X, will not be available in right-hand drive. Unfortunately, this means that your order is unable to be fulfilled and will be cancelled. The email goes on to say that order holders will receive a full refund for any payments made and a $3,000 credit can be applied for any Model 3 or Model Y, so long as they do so before the end of October this year. Now, this is mind-blowing for the following reasons. There are 241 countries around the globe. 68 of them drive on the left side of the road. That's Australia, New Zealand, UK, India, Pan-Asia, Japan, and more. That is, we have a steering wheel on the right side of the road. Bit confusing, but I'm going to keep saying now right-hand drive, okay? Importantly consider this. Would this be making news if it happened in the United States? Because, guess what? The population of the US is 332 million. That's about 4.25% of the world's population. Whereas right-hand drive markets, the ones like in Australia and all these places, we constitute more than 30% of the world's population. So how could this be? How has Tesla arrived at this point? Engineering difficulties? I mean, come on. Tesla made billions in the last few years. They make more than 20% profit on each sale of each car they do. They've got plenty of cash in the bank. They've got, it will cost millions, no doubt, to produce Model S and X to change that firewall, where the hole goes through for the steering wheel. And to do so for them, that's just chump change. That is just a day of operating, seriously, in terms of money. Also, this decision flies smack in the face of their vision of what Tesla is going to be so many years from now. Remember at Investor Day 2023, where they detailed their stretch goal of 10 vehicle types, more than 20 million electric vehicles sold every year? So how does this fit into that message? I've often criticized car makers for not bringing their electric vehicles to Australia, but you know who does and sells light price luxury cars? Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and more. So if Tesla wants to remain the world's biggest EV car company, fulfill its mission, offer 10 models, they'll have to find a way to make a Model S and X in right-hand drive. And then just think about it. What about the Cybertruck? Will that ever come to right-hand drive markets? Tesla Roadster, you can still order one. Fun. What about then full self-driving? So with that foundation set up, now let's jump back into the video where I'm going to call this the Tesla and the Gong show, and I'm going to ask Nash this. What kind of impact do you think this will have on the company's sales in countries where driving on the left side of the road is the norm?
Yeah, so that's something that we really have to look at, isn't it? Now we know that the number of countries with left-hand sided road driving, that is right-hand steering wheeled cars, are small, but it's still a significant number. Particularly if you factor in India. India is a massive, massive market. Australia may not be that big a market, but India is a massive market for Tesla. If they don't start sending in all their vehicles into India, it's going to be a bad thing. Um, I personally feel that Tesla is losing out a massive chunk of change, and they're going to lose out to luxury car companies like Lucid and the EQCs and the BMWs of the world um, who will start getting those cars. Yeah, and the cars in India will be one third of the population of the world. They're like a massive population there, and so if they don't have cars, it's really annoying. And particularly if they had never delivered a Model X or Model S to Australia or to other right-hand drive countries, that's a different issue altogether. They were. It is possible. It's possible to deliver it into right-hand drive countries, and all of a sudden they decide not to do it. If you look at the refresh, the way they did the homologation, that in itself was very, very bad. They didn't plan that right hand left hand drive thingy. And there was a talk about a drive by wire happening with Tesla, but we don't know what happened to that. So this is such a, I mean, to put it in decent language, it's a shit show. It is.
Next up, how do you think this will affect customer satisfaction and loyalty towards Tesla?
And if you ask me personally, a massive Tesla fan like me, and I'm feeling a little salty about this whole thing, particularly because the way it was handled, there was no explanation given, and it was a cold corporate email. Those two things are something which Tesla never used to do. Tesla always used to side on the side of the customer. They used to pass on the rate differences to the customer, and so on and so forth. But this particular move was poorly orchestrated. I'll tell you a few things there. Okay, so first and foremost, the email was sent out in a hurry, and we got a different email to what the Irish and rest of the other right-hand drive countries got. In UK and in Japan, they're trying to push the right-hand drive market out and just let them order left-hand drive cars because it's still street legal. And then when we go and try to apply for the refund, there is no steps to follow to apply for the refund. We have to go and request for a cancellation. So it is looking as if Tesla wants me to go and cancel that order in my managed page. So there is no steps to follow. So if you ordered a Tesla, and if you know there are steps to follow, it'll say, okay, now you can choose the time and date of your delivery. Or the next step to follow is to send an email with regards to registration. Those things. Then send an email or send the rest of the payment. There'll be a step on the page. In this page, when you go to my page, I can probably show you a live this one. In my page, it says prepare for delivery. My Tesla page actually still says prepare for delivery. I can just pull that up now. I can show it to you. So you see, there's not been a proper communication between the back end and the front end. Is my humble opinion. And that is then that I think is going to really hurt Tesla because they didn't think this through. It still says my car is waiting for delivery, and there's no steps to say that Tesla canceled my order. It only says I need to go and request for a cancellation, and that in itself shows how poorly they have planned. Planned this, and then the email that went out to uh, uh, the European counterparts, particularly the Irish counterparts, is different to what we got. For them, it was more curt. There was no name on it either. There was no name addressing them. It was just a very curt email saying, dear sir slash madam. It was like as if they took a template and they sent out that template to everyone. And that was even more hurting to those folks in Ireland. So all in all, people are quite salty by the way they were treated by Tesla, in particular with regards to this episode. And that is definitely going to affect customer satisfaction a fair bit, is what I think. Tesla is losing face. So if I can show you, so this is my, oh, right now the page is unavailable as well. So it says the page is unavailable because they have not thought this through. They are just working as they go. So I'm going to see if I can refresh this page again. So I want to show you that it still says my page still says waiting for delivery or prepare for delivery. And I do not want to send out a request to cancel my order. I do not. I want to keep my order. Michael Fink is asking, is saying, I have Elon's ear. I thought I had Elon's ear before, but again, I'm just humbled that I was in the right place at the right time. There's nothing to do with me doing anything special. I've always maintained that. And yes, he has answered a lot of my tweets, including one tweet about FSD last year. But all that is just right place at the right time. But now I don't think he cares about the right-hand drive market, and that is very, very upsetting.
And then I asked, in your opinion, how much of a competitive disadvantage will Tesla be at not offering right-hand drive cars, given that many of its competitors still do?
So if I was Rivian, if I was Lucid, I would just jump on this opportunity and make sure they produce a heck of a ton of right-hand drive cars as fast as they possibly can. All the other manufacturers as well, all the manufacturers who were feeling the heat from Tesla, like the BMWs or the Audis or the even the Toyotas, they will all be jumping on the bandwagon to try and get out as many right-hand drive cars as possible in all segments. And again, proving to Tesla that they have now fallen from grace because they are unable to produce a right-hand drive luxury sedan or luxury SUV, whereas these companies will just make it and then they'll just dump the market, and that will take out a fair bit of share from Tesla, is what I think. And that is going to hurt Tesla in the long run. I am a huge Tesla fanboy. I own 4 Teslas. I have the 5th one on its way. But I strongly feel that Tesla did a very big disservice. At the very least, what they could have done is they could have honored the existing orders because they made them wait for 2 full years. They could have honored that. Polestar will want to push out their Polestar 3 and the Polestar 4 as soon as possible. Polestar 2 is a great car in itself. They'll try to push that. BYD is coming out like crazy, and Ford they will try and push for that. The Ford, what is it called? Oh dear. The Marquis. Yeah, they will try to push the Marquis as much as possible. So Tesla has lost the plot here, in my opinion. I'm never this critical of Tesla ever. If people have followed me over the years, they know how big a Tesla fanboy is. The thing is, what hurts the most is we Aussie fans stood by Tesla all this while with all the FUD going. We combated the FUD, and this most important thing is we sold so many Tesla cars. I converted nearly my entire family and half my friends into Teslas. And I let out my car for hire at a very cheap rate so that people can try before they buy. And so many times when I go to a Tesla service center, I've heard these guys tell me, Nash, this person came last week to pick up the Tesla, and they said they hired your car in Canberra. This person came to pick up the car from Tesla. They hired a car. This person hired it in Sydney. This person hired it in Canberra, so on and so forth. So I think it's I think Tesla has done a bad thing. So I'm trying to refresh my web page, and the page is not available. Something is happening in the background. Tesla has not thought this through. I believe they should reconsider this. And there's another tweet as well today. Somebody tagged me on a tweet saying that they canceled their Model X, They asked Tesla guys whether the $3,000 is immediately available, and they said yes, it was immediately available. They got an inventory Model Y, and it did not reflect on the inventory Model Y. The $3,000 was not detected. So they did not think this through. Tesla has really dug themselves, or they find themselves in a slippery slope. They did not think this through. And there's another tweet from another mate who tweeted tagging me saying that they tried to cancel their Model S order, and it says unable to process refund. Same email, same everything, unable to process the refund. So they did not think this through. That is the simple explanation.
And then I put to Nash, Tesla has previously indicated that it's prioritizing production of its more affordable Model 2 or whatever it's going to be called. And do you think this decision to continue right-hand drive cars is part of maybe a broader strategy to focus on that new model? Or is it just cost cutting?
No, I don't think so, Chris. I'll tell you why. When they refreshed the Model S and Model X, Tesla did not look at doing a parity model because the Model Y and the Model 3 are homologous cars. They can just switch the two sides. There are nearly identical or mirror imaged parts on both sides. Whereas the Model 3, Model X and Model S are not. Even when they did the refresh, they did not think this through. So now they've found themselves in a bit of a sticky situation. And what hurts even more is the same day that we got cancelled, we got all of our Model S and Model X cancelled. There was an even more sweeter deal for the US customers where they got free supercharging, they got better financing, and they got something else as well. And then the S and X seminar started happening in the UK, and the inventory models in Japan were still there. So nearly the only people who are completely left out in this are the Australians or the Aussies, and it is terrible that we find ourselves in this situation after putting so much of our hard-earned money and a lot of time to promoting this brand. So it feels really, really sad.
And then we got talking. What about Cybertruck and full self-driving?
If you ask me, the skeptic in me is thinking, if they're developing this in tandem, they should at least have a beta released in a right-hand drive country. If they have not brought out a beta in a right-hand drive country, I don't think we're going to get FSD beta in a right-hand drive country at all. I'm sorry, I don't think we're going to get an FSD beta, and because now they should have started developing this in tandem. They at the very least start a beta program. If you do not say this, I don't think we're going to get it in the right-hand drive country. After the fiasco that Tesla has pulled, I won't be surprised if we have a cold email being sent out to everybody who bought FSD right from 2016 saying that, sorry folks, we can't get FSD. We'll give you $3,000, buy a Model 3 and Model Y on us, say thank you. This is exactly what is going to happen. This is my gut instinct. Same thing is going to happen with the Cybertruck right-hand drive, Roadster right-hand drive. All of them are just going to get an email saying that Roadster, oh yes, you got a Roadster, 66. You paid us $66,000. No worries, we'll give you $4,000. You can buy a Model 3 and Model Y on us and say thank you. That's what Tesla is going to do. Now this is where the problem lies, because what? So let's say they knock off S and X now. Next, they knock off the Cybertruck, and then they knock off the Roadster. What will stop Tesla from turning around 3 or 4 years down the line and saying, no more Model 3 and Model Y in right-hand drive countries, guys? You either change to left-hand drive or sorry. And then what will happen to the parts? What will happen to I know by Aussie law, we are supposed to have 10 years worth of parts to be supporting us. Um, but but then after 2016 Model X won't be supported after 2026, and then the wait times will be huge. What will happen if the Tesla turns around and does it to the Model 3 and Model Y? What will you guys do? Now that is why this is important. Yeah. I feel sorry for not getting for my Model X, but more than anything, I somehow am extrapolating this and I'm thinking, if this is what happens to uh, a um, a high-end car, what is stopping Tesla from going down the path of saying, we're not going to make any right-hand drive car at all ever again? That could well be the case, and when that happens, it'll affect a whole heap of people who have a Model S and Model X, who already own a Model X and Model S because they won't get parts, and all the people who have a Model T and Model Y, they will also be in that region. Yeah, Mike is saying sad for the future of Tesla in this country, and Pete is saying, I reckon you are spot on, Nash. And I really think we, if it comes to that, it'll be a very, very sad day. I'm already quite sad that this has happened, because this is not the Tesla that we have grown to love and like. And to think of it, yeah, Pete, you actually stole the words out of my mouth, mate. Robin Denholm is an Aussie, and how did this go past her? Is it beats me? How did this go past her, and how did she approve it? Is something that I can't fathom. I really can't fathom. Um, Jeff says, time to tax all the exports of battery materials and invest in our own vehicle manufacturing. That will be a great thing to do, Jeff. But I'm feeling quite sad and exasperated after this fiasco. I'm still not able to get over it because of the implications that this may hold. Um, that is so bad. I don't know how Robin Denholm, how did she let this slide? How did she even say okay to this such a thing? Now, again, let's be very clear. I am pro Tesla. I own Tesla shares. Full disclosure there. I know the mission. Actually, we all know the mission. We, the Tesla OG fans, as we call ourselves, we know what the mission is. But this is not how you treat a fan. I think somebody had posted today. I think Oz EV. I think he posted today that loyalty breeds loyalty. This is not the way to treat a loyal fan.
So once again, a big sincere apology to Nash, but also a big huge thank you for basically hosting the entire show. I'll explore alternative options with streaming software because it's still, I think, a great way to get some messages out there. And for the 300 people who saw that video, sorry to you too. Like, you know, that was terrible. Anyway, so thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. If this has convinced you to do anything, maybe subscribe. I don't know. It's up to you. Think about Patreon or YouTube membership, and otherwise you'd be good and you'd be green.